For so long now, I've been getting told, well, rather, I've been getting yelled at that I need to watch Severance. People screaming from the mountaintops about how good this show is, people claiming it's one of the best shows ever made. And I always said, fiddlesticks. Like, I bet it's good. Like, yeah, I can definitely see it's good, but there's no way it's that good. It could never live up to this level of glaze. You know, just like a three-titted alien goth babe, I just didn't believe in it. Like, sure, it's probably a decent show, but I always kicked that can down the road, saying I'll watch it eventually. Well, eventually finally came. I caved in, and I really regret that I didn't watch this show sooner. Not only does it meet the extraordinary expectations I had for it based on this unbelievable gushing grannies movement surrounding it, it exceeds it. I haven't been this shocked by something since the first time I watched Two Girls, One Cup. Now, of course, it's very different kinds of shock here, but they do share similar DNA in that I can't stop eating the shit this show feeds me. I love it. I didn't know a single fucking thing about it going into it, and that was such a blessing. So the show revolves around this idea of severance, as the name would imply, and what it is, it's an operation where people can do a procedure where they get a chip put in their brain that will separate their work life from the rest of their life. So for 8 hours a day, their work life is a completely clean slate, a completely different person, but it's still you. But when your workday finishes, you have no memory at all at anything that happened in there, and your work self has none of your outside memories either. There's the innie and the outie. And this show plays with the really complicated issues that arise from this because, I mean, if you got your thinking caps on, you basically have trapped yourself down there, but it's not really you. Your outside conscience and your inside are totally separate people, and one of them is only ever alive when you are working. So all of their waking hours are just spent being a slave to Lumen, and they know nothing about the outside world except for the very few things Lumen tells them, which of course, you know, maybe it's not the most trustworthy source. It is unbelievably well written. There is not a single character in this show I dislike, and I don't think I can say that for any other show. Even my favorite show, Breaking Bad, there are still a couple of characters I don't think were amazing. Severance, even the side characters fucking slap. Like Rickon. Rickon he's kind of like just a comic relief character for the most part, but even he has like an integral role in that he is a writer whose book, I don't want to get into any spoilers. I'm going to do my best to avoid spoilers here. But even characters that I feel like in the beginning were just going to be throwaway silly characters, like here's this dude who goes on, he's like, Rickon is basically like the most fedora-tipping, Reddit-coded, pretentious douchebag ever, but it's so over the top and actually like really well done to the point that it's not cringe, it's just straight up charming. Like, I actually really liked the guy. You know, when he's being so quirky and zany, like, my wife's about to give birth. Mark, would you mind helping me hang the kelp? And then also, we need to start spilling our secrets out while she's giving birth so that way the baby knows that it's a clean atmosphere with no pollutants anymore because our secrets have been exorcised like demons. If you'll excuse me, I have a bit of a sore throat. I'm going to go rub my vocal folds with eucalyptus extract while I slip 2 fingers into my butt to tickle my prostate around and realign my chakras. Like that kind of shit. And like, when you see other characters in other shows do it, it's like eye-rolling. But in this show, it's like really entertaining. Like, the show's not a comedy. First and foremost, it's not a comedy, but there are a lot of jokes in it and really comedic moments that land, which is really refreshing. But the actual bread and butter of the show is its narrative and its characters that are constantly developing. Because basically what you're watching when you are seeing the Lumen employee side, the innies of our main cast, you're seeing blank slates, brainwashed slaves to this company that are starting to learn, like, what is it to be alive? Are we alive? What are we? And as they start to explore all of these concepts, it is expertly crafted. Like, there's a lot I want to say, but I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. This show takes this idea to its absolute fullest potential. And this is one of the only shows I can think of where I actually got so invested, I started talking at the TV. Like, it reminded me of my grandparents growing up when they were watching Young and the Restless, and they're like screaming like, no, why would you go back with him? What are you thinking? That kind of thing. I was getting that invested. The finale for season 1, I literally did the meme where I was like this, And then as the tension starts building, I'm pulling one of these. I'm locked the fuck in. This show builds tension better than any show I've ever watched. So the season 1 finale's hitting, and as it's starting to wrap up and like it's getting this crescendo, I literally yelled, "Say it!" Like I was that invested. And if you've watched the show, you know exactly what I'm referring to. There is just so much to love about this show. The way it's filmed is beautiful. It has so many good shots. The camera work is stunning. Like the setting at Lumen, it's eerie, it's sterile, it feels labyrinthine, it feels unnatural, but it also feels like it fits perfectly into this society that they've built, this universe that they have constructed. Everything works in this show. It's a show with more twists and turns than testicular torsion. It's a show that constantly keeps you on the edge of your fucking seat. Like, literally. Like, I couldn't help myself. My body was just actually, like, getting closer to the screen as these things start building upon themselves. And nothing ever feels like an ass pull. Everything feels so deliberate and so, like, intertwined that it's always satisfying. Like, the places they reach, it all is super sensical. There's no characters that make like bafflingly stupid choices. Some characters are going through some very personal struggles, like our main character, Mark. He's gone through a tragedy, which is what led him to doing this severed procedure in the first place, so that way he can spend 8 hours a day not thinking about the things that haunt him. And as he's starting to like struggle with this, even starting to grow from it, come to terms with it, he never does anything that feels like out of the realm of what a normal guy would do that has just been stricken with grief. So there's never any of those moments where like it's a huge leap in logic or anything. It's just so good. And I love the setting. Like inside Lumen, they basically infantilize all of their innies. They basically just treat them like kids. Like, if you work real hard today, you're going to get some finger traps. Like, that's really cool. And keep up the good work. If you are really productive, we'll let you eat a single peanut. In fact, what about 5 minutes of a dance experience? And then they'll play like a record and then start hitting some little dance moves, which is actually a really pivotal moment in the show. Which brings me to my favorite character, Milchick. Milchick is a Lumen employee, and you're going to be seeing a lot of him in this show. He plays a very important role. The performances in this show are incredible. Milchick's, I think, is the best. He is able to tap dance on this line of being like really charismatic and really eerie, like disturbing to a certain extent, where like he can flip this switch on and off from being like nice guy to like, I'm gonna like fucking slit your throat. But he never really directly threatens anyone. He never fights anyone, at least not yet. I'm in the middle of season 2, but I haven't seen him fight anyone. He never throws hands. All he does is just go through Lumen policy with you. I don't mean to perturb you, Dylan. What is that? What just happened? What is that noise? This is what it sounds like at Lumen. What is Milchick hacking me right now? This has to be an ad that's playing somewhere, but where? Anyway, maybe that's like the music they use to play you off at the Oscars when the yapping's gone too long. I'll go ahead and stop going fucking ballistic bukakiing this. You need to watch Severance. I'm going to parrot what everyone else has said. This is a show that is a must watch. This is an absolute slapper. I can't even imagine something to dislike in this show. I can't even nitpick a complaint with this show. So it really is that good. I am loving this show. And I can't wait to see how season 2 ends. So yeah, anyway, that's about it. See ya.